Everyone, it's June 15th. It's been a while since we've done a video for Rosadoro, so I thought I'd do a quick one while I'm out here in the field. Kind of an interesting situation here. On the left we have Nebbiolo, and on the right we have Sangiovese. Two different Italian grapes from different regions in Italy, growing happily side by side but very differently. Kind of an interesting case in point. So the Sangiovese on the right, this is Brunello Clone 06, one of the, believe it or not, less vigorous types. Sangiovese can really be sort of off the hook busy. These are only 4 years old. These are fourth leaf. So we got a good crop from them last year, actually, about a ton an acre by the time I went through them. And this year is looking pretty good. Weather was odd in the spring, so pretty much across at least the north coast you're hearing lots of tales of shatter and kind of irregular fruit set, which is definitely the case here. There are definitely some lagging bunches. The Sangiovese and Nebbiolo, not so much. Nebbiolo buds out super early, about 2 weeks before anything else. So actually it's farther along in its development than just about anything else we grow. Versus the Aglianico, which probably didn't start growing until 4 weeks after, which is just incredible. And fortunately, we didn't have any frost, because the Nebbiolo would have been the first one to get hit. So anyway, just a quick overview. The Sangiovese here has not been watered yet. We'll probably have to give it a couple gallons here, maybe toward the end of the week or into next week. That late winter, early spring rain really saved us. So the young vines, their roots aren't that deep yet, but they're still doing pretty well. In other regions, they've been watering already, so we're happy that we may be able to get to July without giving them a drop. And as they get older, they'll be able to go longer and longer without it. So I've been through here, and I have shoot thinned. I haven't done any thinning of fruit yet, which I won't do until the seeds actually start to harden inside. That's when I do it. It's still probably 2 to 3 weeks away. But when that little green seed starts to become really firm and gets a hard shell around it, that's when I'll go through and drop any fruit that we're going to drop. Sangiovese does really well on bilateral cordons with classic spur pruning, and in fact, if you're in Chianti, that's all you're allowed to do now. They've mandated it there, and even how many buds and how high the cordon arms can be. So pretty crazy revolution that went on in Chianti Classico. But as you can see, each of these will be two canes per bud. Sometimes one. If there was a weak one, I'll go ahead and take it off if the canopy's good and I'm not worried about sunburn or anything like that. Here's a good example of the really irregular ripening. So here's a nice entering pea-sized bunch, a little bit differential if you look, and then right next to it some really scraggly guys, which I'll have to kind of watch to see how well they're developing. Some of these won't be worth ripening, but we like a good amount of shatter because we make wine from all of our grapes, and that increases light and air penetration, so it may not be much of a problem. Versus the Nebbiolo. So this is cane pruned, and I went through this a while ago. It is all one cane per bud. You can certainly get more than that from Nebbiolo, but classic is about 8 to 12 canes. And as you can see, Nebbiolo, these vines are only 4 years old, and Nebbiolo is famous. That's why there's a hydra on the bottle that we have for the Nebbiolo, because it grows like a hydra. It just keeps going and going and going. So to have this kind of growth out of 4-year-old vines that haven't had a drop of water yet is pretty staggering. But things are looking really good. The set is very regular. This is the sun side, and I have kind of a wedge set up here. Nebbiolo doesn't like too much direct light. So on this side, which is the sun side, because we're planted east to west, these bunches will hopefully just be in the dappled shade their entire life. Hopefully they won't get more than maybe 20 minutes of direct sun each day. They'll have light moving over them in an arc the entire day. And I will probably open up the backside, which never gets direct light, just to make sure we get some extra airflow in there. And then each of these canes, you can see how big these bunches are. Nebbiolo bunches, they're kind of like Dolcetto bunches. They can be well over a pound each. And these guys, this is pretty heavy set also. So I'll go through here and make sure that there's only one bunch per cane. which is classic Piemontese technique in Barolo, one per cane, which we actually do with quite a bit here. But yeah, everything is growing really well. No water yet, which is great. And beautiful sunny day, 85 degrees. So, catch up with you a little later.